All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from North Wilkesboro. Richie Joplin and David Lux have the front row. Austin Ruskoff and Brian Hewitt on the second row. Zach Mead, Scott Snodgrass have the third row. Jeremy Queener, Michael Whiting on the fourth. Joe Lux and Mark Dantuma rounding out the top 10. Ryan McDaniel and Steven Seams round out the field. Brian Hewitt had a great run in the Tour Mods till a late race incident. Can he make it up here? Will tonight be the night the 25 gets to victory lane? Just 3/8 of a mile around this track. The front stretch is downhill, the back stretch is uphill. And the corner exits, these guys get loose very easily. We're going to see some sliding around here tonight. Track temperature has gone up. It's now 132 degrees. It sounds like Michael Whiting pulled off a win in the Gen 4 cars earlier tonight. Could he get to victory lane? All right, here we go. Pace car dives in. Green flag flies. They are underway. The inside line doesn't get going. David Lux quickly to the lead. Lux has gotten the black flag. The caution is out. It looks like they are going to redo the start of this race. That inside line just did not get going. They have removed David Lux's black flag, so he is good to go. Christopher, I'll get your message when we get done tonight, buddy, and I'll see if we can get a Snickers sent to you. All right, here we go. Nope, they're going to go one more lap. Everybody is stacked up and ready to go for the restart. It looks like everybody will hold the positions where they started, so everybody's good to go. So this race is actually starting on lap 4. All right, here we go. The pace car dives in. The green flag flies. Now we're underway at North Wilkesboro. And wow, not sure what happened. We're showing 2 black flags and Michael Whiting in the wall. No caution yet. Must have been a glitch. The black flags have been cleared, but Brian Hewitt now in the wall. Joe Lux, loose out of 4, gets the inside wall as Richie Joplin has the lead. David Lux now in second. Austin Ruskoff up into third. Zach Mead in 4. Scott Snodgrass a little loose coming out of 4. And Steven Seams is taking it to pit road after a problem. Let's see if we can see what happened with Seams. There's Seams up on the high side as they come through one. Wow! Big loose right in front of Mark Dantuma. Gives the inside wall a little kiss. So this has definitely been an eventful start here at North Wilkesboro. But second night of racing in North Wilkesboro, and it has been non-stop excitement. If you missed last night's race, it is on our YouTube channel in beautiful 4K. Everybody's starting to settle in. Wow, Scott Snodgrass was way out of shape coming out of turn 2. He holds on to it, but, and those loose race cars, you see some of the guys moving to the high side. Running that high side helps negate the looseness of the car, but Zach Mead able to slip by underneath. Michael Whiting, who was involved in that lap 1 incident, he has slipped back to 10th, but trying to fight his way back toward the front. Richie still has the lead. Lux still within striking distance, as is Ruskov. Now they have enough fuel to go the distance, but a mid-race caution, as we have seen all season, likely going to see the field in for at least right side tires. Especially with the track being as hot as it is tonight. Mark Dantuma, who did not qualify, now up into 9th, trying to run down 8th place Ryan McDaniel. Brian Hewitt, who rode the wall through 3 and 4, wow, he was loose. And everybody is fighting a loose race car here tonight. Hewitt's in the wall again as they come down into 1 and 2. Ryan looks underneath. You guys know the history. These two side by side can mean only one thing. Chaos is coming. Austin Ruskov currently in 3rd, losing ground to the top 2. But David Lux is right back on Richie Joplin's bumper. Lux is peeking underneath. And Lux has been on a tear this season, scoring wins in both. Ryan McDaniel has had a problem. No caution yet. He is rolling again. We will not see the caution. See if we can see what happened to Ryan. Ryan Hewitt had gotten by. Now it's another car peeking. As they come out of 4, he gets on the power and just barely avoids the wall. Mark Dantuma, however, riding in his onboard camera. This is the second time this has happened to him since the green flag drops. And watch how close that got. Wow. Nice save, Dantuma. And Mark Dantuma has been very lucky so far tonight. Will his luck hold? Mark now up into 8th, closing the gap on Jeremy Queener in 7th. And Joe Lux has come to pit road. That is a bit unexpected. Michael Whiting has made his way up to 9th, and he is closing on Jeremy Queener rapidly. He's about 2.5 seconds back, but he is gaining a bunch of ground. Richie and David Lux continue to check out from the field. If this continues and we stay under green, these two are going to be in lap traffic before long. And Ryan McDaniel is in the infield. No caution, he's out of the racing surface. Let's take a quick look. There's Ryan coming through, 1 and 2 on the power, out of turn 2. The back end just does not grip and he goes to the inside wall. Brian did recover and he keeps going, but he did end up going a lap down. Austin Ruskoff currently in third as Zach Mead in fourth, not far behind. Scott Snodgrass now in fifth as Dan Tuma's working on sixth. On the high side on Brian Hewitt. Mark already up 4 spots after not qualifying. Now sets his sights on Scott Snodgrass, just 0.8 of a second ahead. Austin Ruskoff trying to pull a gap on Zach Mead, but Zach, man, he seems to close in. It seems like Austin is faster down the front stretch. Zach is better out of turn 2 and up the back stretch. As Lux is peeking at, oh, he got the curb a little bit. Oh, a little bobble out of 4. You have to be careful. There is a very small curb there in 3 and 4, and if you clip it, it can send the car flying to the outside wall. Lux being a little bit more careful that time by, but Richie did get a little breathing room for the moment. Oh, Scott has had a problem. Dan Tuma to 5th. There's Scully. Cal Scott was loose coming into 3. Never got it completely gathered up. Wow, he keeps it out of the wall and keeps going. For a guy who was loose all the way through 3 and 4, a great save. Richie Joplin and David Lux, they might want to pick the pace up. Mark Dantuma now up into 5th, and he is closing. Scott Snodgrass trying to fight his way. Oh, he gets loose again. He's got his hands full tonight. Scott now back up into 7th, just getting past Queener. Brian Hewitt, after riding the wall through 3 and 4 early on, fell way back. He is back up into 6th. But is losing ground to 5th place Mark Dantuma. Dantuma's just on the march tonight. Early in the Tour Mod race, after not qualifying, starting at the back, got caught up in somebody else's mess, went a lap down, fought his way back to the lead lap, and finished the race in 3rd. He has definitely got something figured out here at Wilkesboro. Richie Joplin does have a mirror full of David Lux still. Austin Ruskoff is now about 1.7 seconds back, and Zach Mead is closing back up on him. If the lead 2 start battling, this could heat up quickly. Austin is closing that gap. Austin was able to conserve a little bit early on. Richie and David have been battling non-stop. And And I'm beginning to wonder if either one of these drivers will have any tires left when this race is over. Austin now just 1.5 seconds back, continuing to close. Mark Dantuma's gap to Zach Mead currently about 6.4 seconds. He was over 7.5 seconds back when he took 5th place. He's gaining ground, but slowly. But as we've seen this season, he does have that long run figured out. Austin continuing to inch closer, bringing Zach Mead with him. Jeremy Queener back in 7th has started to gain a little bit of ground on 6th place Brian Hewitt. Scott Snodgrass has slipped back yet again. He's now back in 8th with Ryan McDaniel looking. Michael Whiting currently in 9th, trying to close in as well. Ryan is right there. He is currently in 10th, a lap down, but trying to fight his way back to the lead lap. Ryan is currently in the lucky dog position. Meanwhile, Michael Whiting, the last car on the lead lap, is only about a straightaway ahead of the leaders. And Austin Roscoff is closing quickly now on the leaders. He's less than a second behind David Lux. Zach Mead still sitting about 1 second back from Roscoff, as they're just shy of the halfway point. Richie Joplin still has the lead, has put a little breathing room between him and Lux for the moment. But with Ruskov closing in and bringing Zach Mead with him, things could heat up quickly. They still have 50 laps, just over 50 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro, and anything could happen. Michael Whiting now less than 2 seconds behind Scott Snodgrass. Scott is just about caught up to Jeremy Queener and Brian Hewitt as this group begins to tighten up. Mark Dantuma was gaining on the lead 4 cars, has lost a little ground again though, now about 7.3 seconds back. Meanwhile, Zach Mead is pulled within about 0.8 of a second of Ruskov. And Ruskov less than half a second behind David Lux. Austin Ruskov coming. Caution! Caution is out for Scott Snodgrass. Our first real caution of the night. Let's take a look. There's Scott as he was continuing to gain ground, but out of turn 2, snaps loose on the back. Wow, just barely misses the fence. Comes back out over the curb and recovers, but does lose a position. And no surprise, the whole field is in. Likely to see right side tires on everybody. The question now, who of this group will take 4 tires? And looks like they're all going for 4 tires. Wow, this is a bit of a surprise. Expected more 2-tire stops. Scott Snodgrass took 2 tires only. He picked up a lot of ground. Richie Joplin does come back out with the lead. After pit stops, Richie Joplin, David Lux are 1-2. Scott Snodgrass, Austin Ruskoff, Mark Dantuma round out the top 5. Zach Mead, Brian Hewitt, Michael Whiting, Jeremy Queener, and Ryan McDaniel round out the top 10. And the entire top 10 now back on the lead lap. Joe Lux in 11th, the only car not on the lead lap. And since we got a caution and a restart, it seems like a really good time to get loud. So get ready to crank it up, y'all. Pace car dives in, green flag flies, crank it up, y'all. And we'll try that again here in a minute. The caution is back out. Mark Dantuma had a problem on the restart. Let's take a look at that. All right, there's Dantuma on the inside as they come out of 4. Oh, I think he might have gotten bumped from Hewitt. Let's take a look from the chopper. There's Hewitt back behind. Oh, Mark has a little bobble. Brian has nowhere he can go. And Mark Dantuma ends up in the inside wall. Joe Lux definitely was glad to see that. He gets one of his laps back. And this will tighten things back up again. And once again, on the restart, we will try and crank it up for you folks at home. So when the green flag drops, I'm going to shut up and let you guys crank it up. Listen to all that horsepower. If you've missed out on Crank It Ups before, we have a whole playlist of all our Crank It Ups on our YouTube channel. The beautiful sound of horsepower. All right, they all get the 1 to green, stack back up for the restart. All right, out of turn 4, here we go. in the air. Crank it up, y'all. Ain't it a beautiful sound listening to these cars go around and roar around North Wilkesboro? Richie Joplin still up front. David Lux in second. Scott Snodgrass holds on to third. We've got a battle going on back behind. Mark Dantuma making the move up top on Ryan. Wow, that got close. Jeremy Queener and Brian Hewitt battling for 7th place. Michael Whiting is now up into 6th and is closing the gap on Zach Mead in 5th. Now the question is, Scott Snodgrass took 2 tires to gain some track position. And is it enough to hold off the 4 tires behind? Austin with 4 tires is looking underneath. Off into 1 and 2. Scott still able to hold him off for the moment, but Austin looks back to the inside as Lux is starting to peek underneath as well. Austin may have the run now for 3rd as they go into 1 and 2. And don't look now, Michael Whiting has almost caught this group as Ruskov moves ahead. Austin now into no. Scott sent it deep into 1 and 2. Scott's not giving up without a fight, but he kisses the wall out of turn 2. Caution is out for Brian Hewitt, and Jeremy Queener back behind. Saw those 2 battling for position. Let's see what happened. There's Brian Hewitt in the yellow 25. Queener down. Oh, Queener caught the curve. Talked about it a few moments ago, that inside curve in 3 and 4. You touch it, you're going for a ride. Queener was already a little loose when he got it. Sent him up, he clips Hewitt, and they both go to the turn 4 wall. Mark Dantuma is coming back in, as is Jeremy Queener. And Joe Lux gets another wave around. He is back on the lead lap. Just under 30 laps to go, and things really going to heat up now. Richie Joplin, David Lux, Scott Snodgrass, Austin Ruskov, Zach Mead, your top 5. Michael Whiting, Ryan McDaniel, Brian Hewitt, Mark Dantuma, and Jeremy Queener, your top 10, as they get the 1 to green and stack back up. Y'all are welcome to make some bold predictions in the comments. It's definitely going to be an interesting finish to this one. Richie Joplin in control. Pace car drops in. Green flag immediately flies. Scott did not get going. The inside line gets checked up. Austin goes to the high side and takes third. Brian Hewitt lost some ground on the restart, trying to fight back. Ryan McDaniel took the opportunity. He's moving up. Ryan now up into 7th as Zach Mead battles with Michael Whiting. Whiting a little bit loose out of turn 2. And David Lux is looking for the lead. Oh, he gets into Richie. Richie's around. Caution is out. Wow. And we said anything could happen. And it just did. Let's take a closer look at this one as they come into turn 4. Richie there on the outside. David just trips up. Looking down from the chopper, that was so close. Lux just barely gets into him, but it's enough to send them both to the inside wall. And with the shakeup on the last restart, things just heated up even more. You know Richie and Lux are going to be trying to come from the back. Meanwhile, Austin Ruskoff now has the lead. Scott in second, Zach Mead, Michael Whiting, and Mark Dantuma now round out the top 5. Ryan McDaniel up into 6th. Brian Hewitt in 7th. Jeremy Queener, Joe Lux, Richie Joplin round out the top 10. David Lux back to 11th. And if they finish how they run right now, it would be a huge shakeup in the points. Man, what a shakeup it'd be. It's definitely going to be an interesting finish. And this could have huge repercussions on the point standings. Lights are out as they stack up for the restart. Austin Ruskoff now in control. Austin has had a great season so far, but has not been to victory lane yet. Hey, good evening, Ty. How are you? Here we go, out of turn 4. Green flag is back in the air. Ruskoff is away. Zach Mead already trying to peek to the inside on Scott. Remember, Scott in the 22, the only driver that took 2 tires at the halfway point. Everybody else took 4. Mark Dantuma on the attack underneath Michael Whiting. We've got a car. Oh, Ryan is around. Richie's in the wall. Caution. Wow. Joe Lux, Ryan McDaniel, David Lux, Richie Joplin, all involved. There's Joe Lux right in the mix. Looks like this may have started with Ryan. Joe ends up getting a little air on this. Looking down from the chopper. Yep, look, he gets a little loose on the power. We've seen it all night. And that chain reaction catches Richie Joplin, points leader. David Lux back behind. Lux manages to avoid the worst of it. Man, Richie took a hit. Tight, yep, it has been a good race. I think it's about to get a little better. Richie Joplin, David Lux, both Richie's the only car. He came in and got repairs. And Austin Ruskoff did not want to see that. He was starting to open up a little bit of space. Michael Whiting now back up into fourth. Zach Mead in third. Scott Snodgrass, as we mentioned, the only driver that took 2 tires, also has not been to victory lane in quite a while. If he gets it done tonight on a 2-tire stop, man, it's going to be one heck of an impressive run. All right, Barney the flagman gives them the 1 to green. We'll have about 15 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro. Things are gonna get wild. All right, here they come through 3 and 4. Pace car heads in. Green flag is back in the air. 13 to go. Austin clears traffic into turn 1. Zach has a problem. He's stuck in the middle, 3 wide. Wow, it gets tight. Dan Tuma pulls out as Scott Snodgrass trying to fight by on the high side. Dan Tuma now to third. Here comes Michael Whiting in fourth, and David Lux is on the move. Scott Snodgrass has the nose ahead. Ruskoff trying to fight back on the bottom. But Scott has a better drive off of turn 4 to the lead. Dan Tuma now to the high side for second. Ruskoff trying to power back. David Lux has had a problem. The caution is back out. Wow, this has been an eventful race. All right, there's David Lux right behind Zach Mead and Brian Hewitt. Oh, Lux has to check up and Richie gets into him. Take a look at this from the chopper. Lux has to check up to stay out of Hewitt. Richie has nowhere to go. Jeremy Queener locks the brakes up, drifts by, and does manage to save it. So now Scott Snodgrass is in control. Man, what a move to get the lead with 2 tires up top. Still manages to get it done. Well, we've had 2 nights of racing at North Wilkesboro, 3 races across both nights, and all of them have been exciting. You can catch last night's race in 4K on our YouTube channel, and guess what? These will be in 4K later tonight on YouTube. All right, here we go. Scott in control. Pace car is in. The green flag flies. Scott's away like a bullet. Dan Tuma already looks underneath Austin. We've got cars around. The caution is back out. Holy cow. David Lux, Ryan McDaniel, Joe Lux, and Brian Hewitt all involved. Ryan has gone to pit road. Alright, there is Joe Lux gets big loose but saves it. Looked like Ryan got into Queener. Gets a better drive into turn 1, right into Jeremy's bumper. Lux follows him up the track. And Brian Hewitt just ahead. Richie pushes up, gets into Ryan. He goes around. Wow, a lot of bumping there. Well, now it's going to heat up even more. Brian McDaniel did tow it in. Brian Hewitt, Jeremy Queener also went in for repairs. Both of them shaking off some sheet metal. Now Scott has marked Dan Tuma on the high side. Remember, Dan Tuma has been making a lot of moves up top, but so has Scott. So hopefully he has found himself a way to defend that high line. Austin Ruskov, Michael Whiting right behind. Both drivers have been fast all night. And of course, Richie Joplin and points leader David Lux back behind. Both want to get back to the front. All right, here we go. Into 3 and 4. They will have 2 to go when the green flag drops. And the green flag flies. It'll be 2 to go at the line. Scott cannot get away. Dan Tuma is side by side into 1. Scott sends it deep. Will he clear? He does. Austin goes for second. Dan Tuma trying to fight back up top. Joe Lux and David Lux have a problem on the restart. White flag one more time around. Scott continuing to pull away as Dan Tuma and Ruskov battle. They bang doors. Dan Tuma pulls ahead. Lux is up by the wall and out of turn 4. Scott Snodgrass wins it. North Wilkesboro. Holy crap, what a finish. Mark Dan Tuma comes home in second. Austin holds on for third. Hey, good evening, MP. What a finish. Let's see what happened to the Luxes on the restart. All right, there's David Lux, the points leader. Oh, Joe gets into him. Ouch. And man, what a hit into the outside wall. I don't think David was happy about Dad hitting him. What a finish. Let's talk to our top three, starting with Austin Roscoff. Austin, I honestly don't know where to begin, man. There were times where you were one of the fastest cars on track. There's a point where you were leading, some door banging on the last lap. It was a wild and eventful night.
Yeah, it was pretty wild there. Early on, I thought we were going to go green that whole way, so I was saving a little bit of fuel. I was actually to the good, just trying to save my stuff, and then we got that caution, and it was a completely different game. I messed up. I didn't put enough fuel in the car. It was a little bit light on the back end, causing it to push, and just didn't have enough.
Well, man, you and Mark on that final restart had one heck of a battle. You guys banging off each other on the final lap. That one really caught me by surprise.
Yeah, I don't know if he got loose or what up there, but I know Mark. I run with Mark good enough. I know he's a clean racer, so I know I can race him hard. Same thing with Scott. I ran with Scott a few times, and I know he'll race me clean. So just three of us there just trying to get this win.
Well, man, you put on one heck of a show, one heck of a final couple of laps. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, Doug.
Austin comes home in third. Mark Dantuma coming home in second. Mark, not quite as wild as your Tour Mod race, but still definitely an exciting one.
Yeah, I seem to try and make the things a lot harder on me than I really should have to. But yeah, this the Navy Joe Coffee Company Super Late model was just hauling anchor out there. It was good. I had a little fresher tires. I just didn't have enough time to get to the front there. So congrats to Scott. He did a great job.
I have to ask, on that last restart, it looked like you got the wall on the restart coming out of turn 2. Then a lap later, it looked like you got a little bit loose coming out of 2. You and Austin get together, and man, you just sent it into 3.
Yeah, I kind of, Scott squeezed up a little bit. I probably had enough room, but I overreacted and kind of tagged it. And then the next time through, I just jumped on the throttle too hard. Austin kept me going straight, fortunately, but it was entertaining there at the end. I hope we put on a good show for everybody.
You definitely did. It's a good thing I don't have a broadcast tomorrow. My voice is a little shot at the moment, but great job, buddy.
All right, thanks, Doug.
And finally, our winner for the first time in a very long time, Scott Snodgrass is back in victory lane. Oh, Scott, man, I don't remember the last time I talked to you in victory lane. I know it's been over a year. Man, great job, and I have to say, the two-tire strategy was a bold call, but it worked.
Yeah, I tell you what, you always say you always got to do something different if you want to try to win. And I rolled the dice, and for some reason, man, this car came alive once it took the two tires. It seemed like it had a whole lot more grip.
I was going to say, the first half of this race, buddy, you were all over the place. Every time we looked at you, you were sliding somewhere.
I was making sure to get the full wear of the tires. I wanted, if there's still tread on them, then you didn't use enough.
Oh, that is definitely true. Well, you use every bit of rubber tread, probably steel belting on those left sides tonight. But, man, it is awesome to see you back in victory lane. It has been a while and long overdue. And I know how much you love these cars.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I think, and I even hit the pace car, too. So I think I officially hit everything on here.
Great job. That is a thorough night to win as well, buddy. Man, yeah. Awesome job tonight, bud. Congratulations.
Thank you. I think the last time I got the win, I think I still got it where you, etched it with hieroglyphics.
Probably so. It's about the last time I won, too. So, great job, buddy.
Thank you, dog. Appreciate it. Thank you for your broadcast. Thank you for everything everybody does, man. Appreciate it.
You can tell Scott is happy. I'm sure Becky will help him celebrate tonight, and they can thank me for getting together. I'm always going to say it. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope everybody had as much fun as we did. Don't forget, no race tomorrow, but yes, we will be streaming. I will be here to entertain you. Please come by, talk to us. We're just going to sit around, play some games, and have some fun. Hope everybody had as much fun as we did. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, y'all.